All right, we are live. What is
We're
up, man?
live.
Yes. So I'm finally. It's been a long time coming. It's totally my fault. Because Darryl's been a great member of the community, a good friend, a good supporter for a long time, and he's finally here. Let me see if I can point the right direction. Oh, yes. Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's reversed, right?
I know, right? I know it. But man, it's good I'm so glad you're here, all the way from the frozen tundra of what part of Canada? What part of Canada are you in?
I'm in Ontario.
Ontario, nice. Yeah. Well, man,
Small town called Port Prairie, Ontario, about an hour and a bit north of Toronto.
Nice. Well, it is, man. It's so freaking good to have you. Like we were just, Darryl and I were just talking a moment ago about how it's hard for me to imagine that there are people out there that don't know who he is, but I know that's always true. So we're going to try to raise that number today, get people to know you a little more, get to know your work, know how to find you. This is going to be really great. But before we get started, we'll give people just a couple moments to get in here. Oh, Laura Evans is here from Toronto. So that's nice. We've got Sue Roy.
Laura should come visit me.
Yeah. Annette Bolton, good to see you from Nebraska.
Hi, Annette. I talked to Annette on Annette's been helping me learn how to find some more balance in my life. So I made her a personal promise that I would work hard on finding more balance and getting better sleep and stuff. So she's a sweetheart.
That's great. Of course, Misa's in the house.
Hello, Misa.
Yep. We've got somebody from Alaska here. Sorry, I can't see your name. Cheyenne McPherson from right across the border from me in Arkansas. Yep. Hey, Will is in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Megan McClellan from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario.
Sault Ste. Marie.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Nice. Canadian representing. Let's go.
That's right. It's great. This is awesome. Yay for the internet. We got Christy Borman. Good to see you from Olympia, Washington. And Deanna Moore from North Carolina. Janelle Allred. Good to see you. Man, we got a lot of people here. We're pushing up to 35 people already, which is great. Great way to start. Amy from Arizona. We got, they're going really fast now. I can't hardly keep up with them. This is great. Massachusetts.
How's it going, everybody?
Yeah, it is so good, man. Terre Haute, Indiana. Joe Price, Maryland from New Philadelphia, Ohio. I just realized my eyes are really old and I can't read very far.
Yeah, I gotta wear these glasses. I have 2 sets of glasses, 2 different prescriptions. This one's to see far.
Yep.
These ones are to see the computer. And in order to look at my phone, I have to wear no glasses. So I'm like.
I got to tell you, I got some, I've had contacts on and off throughout my life, and I love them because I don't like always having something on my face. But I realized when my contacts are in, I can't read my phone.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, it happens when you get old. Someday when you get old, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Mario. I turned 50 this year, guys.
Oh man, that's hey, I'm turning 54 in less than a month. So
the hair's still rocking.
Yeah.
Still got a full head of hair, no bald spots.
Love
doing too bad on the gray.
My only way to defend, because I'm definitely really thin right here, but I'm so tall nobody can see the top of my head, so they don't know. They try to hide it. It's great.
There's a fun fact nobody knows about me. I'm actually short. I'm about an inch shorter than Will. Will's short, but I'm shorter. So,
well, you make up for it in big personality and big design. So, man, let's get into today. This is going to be so much fun. We've got about almost 50 people here now. This is fantastic. You guys, you are in for a treat. Darryl's been just a good friend, a good supporter in the community. If you don't know him, you're going to get to know him today.
How do you not know me? I'm everywhere.
I know, but so first of all, we're going to start and end with the same thing. You can find him a couple different places. ThatLaserDude.com. He just got a brand new website he launched. Honestly, it's fantastic. It's really great. You worked a lot on it. I know you did. And it looks great. And so you guys, I'll check it out if you haven't been there. And of course, he's been on Etsy for a long time. So either place, right? I think his website's better. I think you should go there. But
yeah, the Etsy shop has all my files. You can do you can either do the Etsy.com thing or just spincustoms.com actually forwards right to my Etsy shop. But thatlaser.com has everything as well. So,
and I'll say it for him. He'll take your money anywhere, so it doesn't really matter. Whichever. Yeah. So that's how to find him. He's also in. I'm sorry, I don't have it on the screen. But you have a large group, one of the larger groups out there, and it is called, let everybody know how to find you there.
Glowforge World.
Glowforge World.
Is one of the groups that I own. I started that, and it's been great. I love the community. It's an amazing community. And also Spin Customs Laser Designs, that Laser Dude group on Facebook. That's where I hang out a lot as well. And I do like fun things, fun videos and contests, everything. Just a little bit of, we have a lot of fun.
It's great, man. So everybody, if you have not, first of all, go join Glowforge World, go join his other Facebook groups, follow him on Etsy, just keep in touch with him because everything he makes is great. You're going to want to see it. If I were to, I was going to try to make a joke that isn't even funny. I was going to say, you're going to have a hard time resisting buying everything he makes because it's really, really great. He is definitely one of the best designers. I say this privately and publicly, one of the best designers I've ever seen in the world. So you do a great job. It's really great. So let's talk a little bit about how Darryl got started. You and I were talking a little bit online here right before we started, but you started drawing as a little kid in school. Kind of give us the Reader's Digest. If I can I say Reader's Digest? Does anybody even know what that means? I don't know. I
do because I'm 50 almost.
Right. Give us kind of the short version of where Darryl started as an artist and how he got to where he is now. And I'll kind of jump in with some questions, but tell people how you got started.
I was always the little artsy kid. I was a little nerd in school with the sketchbook. I started drawing at a very young age. I actually started selling my art in grade 3. Little pictures of Garfield and Odie at my desk at recess and lunch for 25 cents a piece. And it became like a thing in the school where everybody had to have one of Darryl's little Garfield or Odies just stuck to their desk or on their knapsack or whatever. So as I got older and just went through school, I literally had my sketchbook everywhere. This is long before computers existed. Yep. I would draw everything. I started when I was like 10 or 11 doing like pen and ink sketches or crosshatch drawings of like people's homes and churches and just people. And then I got into painting, and drawing was just something I loved to do. It was how I just kind of detached from the stresses of the rest of the world. I just went into my art. So that's how I got started. I don't remember a point in my life where art and design weren't a huge part of what I do. It's always defined me since I've literally as far back as I can remember. So
that's really cool. So as you started getting into computers, kind of connect us from that to Spin Customs, how that kind of happened.
Well, I ended up going. I always knew I wanted to go into art. So I was accepted to York University for fine arts. But I also wanted to be a graphic designer. I wanted to do commercial art. So I ended up choosing to go to Humber College for a 1-year design foundation course just to find out if that's really what I wanted to do. So I graduated that, went to Humber, then I went to Durham College here in Canada for graphic design for another 3 years, and graduated from Durham College, top of my class, and was recruited by an ad agency and became the youngest creative director in the ad agency's history. So that was kind of cool. And I was there for 5 or 6 years, and I went out on my own. And a lot of the clients from that ad agency asked to come with me when I went out on my own. And I said no. That was against my morals and principles to take clients. So I built it myself. I would work constantly. I would go to work all day at the ad agency, come home, and build my clientele. I ended up with, so I started Spin Creative, a graphic design and marketing firm. And it's still, I still run it. So spincreative.ca, you can see all the things I do. It's a whole side of, nobody knows this side of me. I'm big clients like Glenfiddich, Grand Marnier, universities, Bell Canada, which is the equivalent to your guys' AT&T. These are like, I deal with large corporations with my graphic design and marketing. And I ran that for 20 years and ran a successful business. And all of a sudden, COVID hit. And I was like, well, you took away my hockey. You took away all my activities. And we were on lockdown here in Canada. So I saw this ad for the Glowforge. And I was like, buy. Literally just spur of the moment. I was like, I'll buy that. Just because I wanted something else to explore my creative, just a different creative medium. So I was like, cool. And I bought it, and I ended up posting my very first design into a Facebook group, not with any intentions to sell files, not with any intentions to do anything. And everyone just went, file, please, file, please, file, please. And I was like, what do you mean file, please? Like, I'm new here.
Right. What does that mean? Right.
It's one thing. It's an A. It was my A, my first monogram. That's literally what launched Spin Customs. The monogram went viral. So it was just my A with my name on it. And everyone's like, file, please. I'm like, wait, you want the file for my one Aspin monogram?
Right.
No, they want the alphabet, right?
Right.
A few weeks go by, and I ended up just posting it on my regular Facebook. And now I was literally cutting it constantly for friends, family, friends of friends, friends of friends of friends of friends for $35 a piece Canadian, which is about $30 US a piece. And I paid just selling the product, I paid the Glowforge off in 2.5 weeks. Wow. So just with that one file. And then Glowforge actually interviewed me about that because they heard about it. And they're like, this guy just paid his machine off in 2.5 weeks with one design. So as time went by, I've now been printing so many for product that I had 6 or 8 left that I had of the alphabet that I didn't touch yet. And I thought one day I was like, I'll just finish them up and I'll post this file. Yeah. Whatever. So I post this, I finish them up, post the file, and it just goes gangbusters. Sells like crazy. And then all of a sudden people, you remember that when the groups, there was like 10 people a day posting, oh my God, I posted Darryl's monogram, I sold 10. Oh my God, I sold 50. Oh my God, I sold 20. Like
it was awesome. I loved it. I still love it. Yes.
Everybody was selling this thing like crazy. So it seemed, I was actually embarrassed. It seemed like every second post was somebody posting a picture of my monogram and their success story with it. So that's what launched Spin Customs. And I was like, maybe I should do another file. So I did another file, and then I did another file, and now I've done hundreds of files. So
isn't it funny when you think back? I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but it seems like forever ago, right? I mean, it wasn't actually that long, but we didn't know what we didn't know. Like when you said, people said file, please. We're like, I mean, I know what that means, but why? That wasn't a thing. Yeah, I know. No. And so one of the many things that I really appreciate about your designs, specifically the monograms, is they're elegant, but they're simple for the end user. They're very easy. Yeah.
They literally, on the Glowforge, they printed in about 10 to 12 minutes, depending on the name and the letter. And on my new Mira 9, it prints in 2 minutes. I just did that video yesterday, 3 minutes. Anyways, on my Glowforge, they were 10 to 12 minutes. I would stain them in literally under 60 seconds out the door. So my time in, I set the name. I would set the name in maybe takes me 2 minutes. Yeah. And then I got maybe another minute or two finishing it with stain. So you're talking about 3 minutes of my time. Now I've never, when I sell product, I know a lot of people disagree with me, but I've never counted laser time. All those lasers have more than paid for themselves. I don't count laser time. So I was like, I'm making $35 for every 3 minutes of my work, of my actual time. Because while the laser's running, I'm not sitting there staring at it. And if you are, then you're doing something wrong. You should go and do more. So 3 minutes of time. So it was just repeat. And they just bang them out like crazy. So a lot of my designs after that were very similar, right? Because I was building a stable of products that I could sell the products as well. And then as well as the file. So I kind of got known as the guy that was making simple cut files that sell really well in the marketplace. Yep. And they cut fast and finish fast. So big profit. So that's kind of, I've done all kinds of different things now, but that's kind of where I was my meat and potatoes at first.
And it's great. I have a question for you. I don't know how to phrase it, but I think you'll immediately understand it. Let's see if we can share this with everybody. You do the same thing that I do. We spend a lot more time than people know about making sure that the file is as easy for them as it can be, right?
Oh, it's like, so much time. Like that's the difference between people like you and me and others like Misa and like a few a very, very select few other file sellers, but that actually create README files, and go above and beyond to make it as easy as possible. Like those zoo stands I just released today. They come with a README file. I created the sizing for all the way from 0.18, 0.19, 0.20 for your material size, all the way to 0.25 on all 15 designs. There's hundreds of files.
That's so great.
So I mean, hard. So you go in there, you read my README file, you're like, okay, because people don't understand the slot and stand thing. It's not one file. If you buy, there are lots of sellers out there, you'll buy a slot file from, and they don't provide the options. So if you don't know how to adjust the slot and you didn't use the exact same material that they did, well, you're kind of SOL.
Yeah.
So,
well, and more specifically,
we go above and beyond, and I think people appreciate that and they see that the time and the effort. So why is a Darryl Aspin file $10 when someone else is selling a stand for $6? Because I made every option for you available, and I told you exactly how to do it, and I went above and beyond. So,
well, and let me go further than that for you. A Darryl Aspin file is almost certainly going to sell really well, and so the difference between, let's say, a $5 file and a $10 file, you're talking $5, and you will make that back in the first sale. Yep. So I tell people, I mean, if it was like one file for like $40, I'm talking about one file, not a set, of course.
Yeah.
But then I'd say, okay, that's different. But everybody out there, guys, I'm telling you, Darryl's files will sell great. They're easy. Don't worry about $1 here, $1 there. They're high value. But let me go back to this for a second. And again, I don't really know where I'm going with it, other than I know you've had to have done this before. I'll start a design and I'll think, you know what? I know how to do this, but it's going to be hard for the end user. So I got to back up and change that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Talk about that. Does that happen to you often? I suppose you have to simplify. I don't mean in a bad way. I don't mean that people aren't smart. I don't mean that at all, but I just mean sometimes the complexity is a little too high and you got to back up.
I mean, even, absolutely with you do a lot more like structural building things. So I can see that more for you, but for me, for sure, one of the things that I saw that was missing in the marketplace was a lot of people were posting files and their end product looked great because they knew how to paint, because they can hand paint them. And if you actually look at the file, it was just a basic outline file and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start creating the art. And people still look at my files and they're like, I can't do that. Yeah, you can, because even this, for example, and I'm sorry, the top's gone, but
and the bottom's gone too.
The top fell out. I have to reglue it. But this is all just glue or spray painted, and the pieces are just reinserted back in. So the actual black is just, so you have the backer, you put the black part, glue it on top, paint the pieces, spray paint in literally 2 minutes, and then just glue them in. And you get a beautiful finished piece with zero hand painting. I'll never release something that makes people hand paint. Like, that's the difference. So why is that stand $10 and then someone else's little gnome is $4? Yeah. That's why. Because you buy that $4 one and you have to hand paint the thing and you're never reproducing it. Anybody can reproduce that. So that's what part of the user experience that you just mentioned. Like, how do you make it easier for people to reproduce what we're doing?
Right. And you do an excellent job. I have to call attention to behind you. The monogram behind you is gorgeous. Can you bring that forward so we can see it? So this is one of the ones that I know the story of how it's made, but can you tell us? Because by the way, guys, of course, this is on his site, obviously. How is that one made?
I saw a limitation with the Glowforge, and the limitation with the Glowforge or smaller machines is you can't make bigger things. Right. And people wanted bigger items. So I started this whole line of creating slot systems. Yep. This is all printed on the Glowforge, and it's 18 inches. And so the badge holds it all together. It's extremely strong. Like, it's not breaking ever. Watch it break apart now. Right. I created a whole, like, I've got probably 100 different designs of things like that piece together really easy. And then the badge holds it all together. So that's all just printed on the Glowforge, which would only be a maximum of 11 inches high.
Right.
But this wasn't actually my first design into creating the assemble systems. It was actually these ones, these frame sets.
Oh.
So I wanted this is all printed on the Glowforge, and I wanted a really elegant way to hide the seam.
Yeah.
So this took me forever. Like
I believe it.
Like people think, oh, there it is, and everyone's copied me since. Like there's so many people doing this system now, but it took me forever to figure out a beautiful, elegant way to hide the seam, but it's all just printed on the Glowforge.
Yep.
It's a seam, but it's hidden. So that was the first one, and then I was like, all right, well, let's start doing this badge system with the welcome signs and all that, just so people with smaller machines like Glowforge could print bigger 18-inch items.
Yep.
So that was
great job. Great job. They're
it
beautiful.
was
And I want to give you so much more credit for things I don't know how to articulate, but I'm going to try. You've got several concepts going on there at the same time. Of course, you have the split part, which is one thing, okay? But then you've got a beautiful piece of art on top of it, which is another thing. Like
yes.
it's one thing to split it, okay? That concept has been around for decades in woodworking, but that doesn't mean that everybody is good to make it beautiful on the front like you did.
Yeah.
And so you've combined those two together really nicely.
The challenge was hiding the seam in an artistically nice way. Now, Matt's asking if the monogram's available in larger lasers without pieces together. Yes. All of my designs that have the assemble system are also available for people with larger lasers, with no assemble. All of them. So anything that's assemble system, I provide two options so if you download any of them, they're all.
Now, Matt, let me tell you too, and of course, Darryl, correct me if you feel differently on this one. But Matt, if you want to buy his split one, and you've got, let's say you've got a Mira 9 or a Thunder or whatever you got, I can't keep everybody straight as who's got what anymore. There's too many. But if you use Darryl's split monogram, you can actually make it on your Mira even larger because it's split. If you follow my meaning, if you only use the solid one, it's still limited, even though it's large. If you use the split one, you can make it
huge. Yeah, they're scalable because there's no need for kerf or any slots or anything. They're literally, as long as you scale all the pieces together,
right?
They're scalable to be small, bigger, as big as your laser wants to go. So yes, they are available without the split and with the split. Yeah, all of the designs, all the welcome signs, everything that's in my shop is available for both.
Awesome.
But yeah, so that's what I do.
It's great. So let me ask you a couple of just off the wall questions. So tell me your favorite out of all the things you do. What's one thing you enjoy the most? And then I'm going to follow it up with what's the thing you enjoy the least about your job?
I love the design process. I absolutely adore diving in. Like my wife says that I get tunnel vision and I can't even be talked to. Like I just love focusing in and solving design challenges.
Yeah.
And creating new things. I like to innovate and trend set. So the design process is by far my favorite. The finishing is by far my least favorite. I'm good at it, but I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy the finishing of the products. It's not really my fun. I just want to draw. I just want to create.
Yep.
And the idea of I like coming up with cool finishes and stuff, but at the end of the day, that's probably my least favorite of doing this.
Yeah, that I agree. I don't know if there's another story to tell here or not. In all the years you've been doing design for a living, I imagine there's an item or like for me, I'll tell you my story and then you can see if you have one for yourself. When I was a graphic designer, just doing that for a living, one of the things I did not enjoy at all was brochures, like trifold brochures. I didn't enjoy making them at all. I was pretty good at them, but I didn't enjoy them. I just no joy. And so I started raising my price, hoping that would make me feel better about it. And it doesn't, right? If you don't like it, you don't like it. And I doubled my price. At one point I tripled my price and people kept ordering it. I was like, I'm just never going to enjoy this no matter what the price is. I don't like it. And
Yeah.
well, I finally just stopped doing them. And what I enjoyed instead was I love doing business cards, which make comparatively no money at all, compared to the big things. But I was happier, even though I made less money. Have you ever had anything that you were really good at, got paid well, but just didn't enjoy it?
I love all the processes of design. Well, to be honest, I don't like stationary stuff, but business cards and letterheads.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't. I think when I was doing, well, I still do my graphic design career, but designing logos, don't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm good at it. I don't really enjoy the process of it. It's business cards, letterhead. I like doing posters, and I like the trifold brochures. I like. For me, the number one thing was advertising. Like, I've had my art literally on billboards, on commercials, on like all across the world, doing really cool stuff. I've been to some awesome photo shoots and stuff, and done some really creative, cool things with that were just products of my imagination that I got to see come to life through my design, my art, as well as maybe teaming with a photographer. And so that's the part I loved. I loved connecting with the artistic community and to all collaborate to create my final vision. That was just amazing to me.
Oh, it is. And I love seeing, like, my client, I love seeing them reach a new level of success with this tool I gave them, or this, whatever we're talking about, whether it be a billboard, a logo, a side of a truck, it doesn't matter. It's cool. First of all, it's cool to see your work out in the world.
Yeah.
And then it's cool to see it doing what it was meant to do, right? If it was meant to sell a product or evoke a feeling or whatever, that never gets old.
It doesn't get old. I thought it would have, but I remember the first time I saw one of my billboards coming into downtown Toronto. Yeah. And it's giant billboard right off the Don Valley Parkway, which is what enters into the city of Toronto. It's mine. That's my art. And I'm like, wow. Like that's amazing to me. And then, I've seen my ads and my art in Time Magazine and People Magazine. I mean, all over the world on television, and it doesn't get old. You're still like, wow, and you're humbled by it, right?
Yeah, and you feel like a little kid, a little bit like, oh, that was cool. Yeah. That was cool. Yeah, it's cool. Man, I'm just so thankful to just be able to spend the time with you, because it's really cool. Because I admire you, and we have tiny parallels. We're similar in some ways and different in a lot of ways, and I just appreciate all that. I got to ask you just random, because this fits your creative personality. Tell me about Hitcher.
Oh, Hitcher, my band.
Yeah.
I'm the lead singer and rhythm guitar player in a band, Hitcher.
How long have you been doing that? Where did that start?
Hitcher started 6 or 7 years ago, I believe. Yeah. And I've always loved music, and I always loved to sing. I was always in the musicals in school. I love to sing and act. So I love the arts, arts as a whole. So going into music was just another way for me to express my creative outlet. It was a creative outlet for me. So started the band Hitcher, and it kind of took off. And we go around Ontario, and I sing and jump on stage, and I jump on tables, and I've got the same energy in Hitcher that people are used to seeing in these groups.
Yeah, you do.
I have a lot of energy, so I jump around, I dance, I literally jump on people's tables and like sing right to them. I love it. I love to perform.
I don't know if we can ever make it happen. I want Darryl Aspin, the designer, to come to one of our events, but I also want Hitcher to come. And I don't know if we can afford that, but I can dream. I can dream.
That'd be fun. It'd be awesome. One thing people don't know about me, because I seem like this extrovert, and I am, and outwardly, I mean, I really push myself, but I get extremely anxious before I jump on stage every time. I get extremely anxious before I go do a live like this. I get extremely anxious. Like I'm an extrovert, and I get comfortable as I'm doing it. Like right now, I'm completely comfortable. One song in on Hitcher, and I'm right into it. But I will literally all day long be sick to my stomach waiting for that show. We just had a show on Saturday. And I know the whole day from the moment I wake up until I get on stage and do that first song, my stomach's twisting. I don't feel good. Like, oh, what if I mess up? And you know what? We have messed up. It's live music. You mess up, and nobody notices. And even if you do, in all the years I've been doing it, there was one time we had one song that I stopped. And I literally just looked at the crowd and went, I forgot the words. Like, and they just laughed. And they're like, I said, you guys want to hear it again? You want me to try again? They're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, let's do it again.
That's
so
great.
really, the thing is why get anxious over it? Because the end result, my worst nightmare came true. I messed up.
Yeah.
It didn't, and nobody cared.
Yeah.
So
I love that because I can so relate to that. You and I are both known. Tanya said, hooray for extroverted introverts.
That's a great way to put it because that's me. That's me.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? I am exactly the same way, and nobody knows that about me either. You and I are similar in that way that our jobs, our roles that we play are public. And so I use the analogy of a hat. You know, I put a hat on and I do my thing, but the minute I'm done doing the thing, I want to go sit in the corner by myself.
Yes.
But nobody knows that about you or me.
No, when we're done here, I will spend the next 12 hours with my head buried in my iPad on my computer, doing my own thing, quiet.
Right.
I don't even have music playing. I literally just, I'm so focused and just kind of like a little robot moving everywhere. Yep. And then I come online and I like to talk to people and I enjoy it. I've got that other side of me that I just, no, leave me alone. I'm busy. I'm doing my thing.
It's funny. My wife, whenever we'll go to, I'm not a party person, meaning I don't
drink.
Well, I don't drink. So that's a thing. But I also just I'm kind of introverted, you know, unless I have a role to play, right? If I have a role to play, I'm fine. But if I don't have a role to play, I just sit in the corner and I'm all boring, right? And so we'll go to like a party and my wife will be like, what is wrong with you? It's like, nothing. I just don't want to be here. I mean, it's not personal with anybody else. I'm just not that kind of person. But you got a fan here. Thought I'd share that. That's great.
Oh, thank you so much. We have a lot of fun.
Oh well, I might as well ask where can they find your music? Can we buy anything?
No, we're just a cover band. It's all for fun. There's nothing for sale. It's our hobby. We're if you want to look at us on Facebook, I'm Hitcher Rocks on Facebook. If people want to just look. You can have a look. So, but nothing's for sale. Nothing. It's all
a lot of fun. I've watched a lot of your videos. They're great. You do a great job. And hey, guys, no promises whatsoever. But if we can someday get Hitcher to come somewhere here in the States, we will definitely do it. Of course, there's four of you. Have you guys been friends for a long time? How'd you get the band together?
Funny enough, it started off with me posting an ad on Kijiji, which is like Craigslist for Canada.
Yeah.
And just looking for a guitar player to put a band together. And him and I hit it off really well. And then we found a drummer and a bass player kind of the same way by just advertising. And we became really tight-knit. We've all got the same, there's always problems in bands. There's always somebody that's like an attitude or ego. There's no ego in Hitcher. None of us are partiers. No one's into drugs. Then we just want to go and have fun and entertain people. And like, there's no money in doing these live music shows. Like there's no money. You're poor. I'll go do a show and it takes you like, you spend 7-8 hours by the time you hauled your gear and then you did your performance and everything like that. And you walk out with $200. Like,
split 4 ways.
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
we charge $800 to $1,000 a show.
Okay.
Then we split 4 ways, but I mean, we have done shows for $400. Yeah. Where it's like you walk out with $100. I think we've done shows for $300 where you walk out with $75 for literally like 8 hours of work, and it's work.
Right.
I tell everyone, I said, I don't charge people to sing. I charge you to haul my gear. So if I've got to take my gear, haul it, then set everything up, come and do this, and then and entertain the crowd, and then take everything down and bring it back, that's what you're paying for. You're not paying for me to sing because I just love that.
So tell you what, everybody go buy at least one file from Darryl today so that Hitcher can do more shows and not worry about the $200. That'd be great. Hey, so since I see your hoodie, I know you've got some t-shirts and some other stuff. Tell us just a little bit about, I don't even know how many you have. I'm sure you'll have double this number in a few months. You got a bunch of shirts you made recently. They can find them on your website. Is that right?
Yeah, with the launch of my new website, I actually thought, hey, you know what? Let's release like a laser-related merchandise line, which is fun saying. No, that laser, dude. I'm not big into selling like people's idea of merch is let's put our company logo and people are going to want it. Nobody wants this crap. This is me. So, but it's all just fun things, like fun sayings. Like I always say to my wife with her friend who owns a cricket, I'm like, oh, you have a cricket. That's cute. So people always laugh at that so I actually made that a shirt. There's just different things. I've got all different ideas. So I'm going to keep adding to that line on thatlaserdude.com. So just another thing I'm having fun with.
It's a lot of fun. I love that you did that. So guys, definitely check it out if you haven't already. Just check out those things because you'll really enjoy them. Besides buying great files, it's also some fun gear to wear. So I think you'll enjoy that a lot, especially when you think about a lot of you are at shows, craft shows and things like that, and you want to wear something. Some of his shirts there would be a lot of fun for the theme, kind of the laser kind of theme that would be a lot of fun to wear, either because people will get it or it'll be an inside joke. Either way, who cares? Now, if you wear the shirt that has Will with the tube top, I don't, that's so inside. Like
I had to do it though. Just that one's more like a joke, inside joke, and nobody's bought one. So
I'm going to order one. People don't want it. I got to wear one at the conference here. That'll be fantastic. Day one, be me with the shirt of Will, and then Will next to me would be fantastic. Yeah. Cara Davis says that's the one she wants.
You could be the first buyer of it. I don't think I've sold one of the Will ones. I've sold some of the other ones, but
I'm going to fix that right now.
Any money on it. It's all outsourced, and by the time it's all said and done,
a couple dollars. Yeah,
I make a few bucks off of it.
I know. So. Me too. Man, well, that's great. So, guys, in the chat here, we'll have Darryl for a few more minutes here. If you got any questions for him at all, shoot them in the chat. We'll do our best if we can answer them. We'd love to. Any topic you want. If it's way out of bounds, I won't even acknowledge it. So just we'll ignore that. But as people are thinking about questions, Darryl, what are you've been in the communities, you've been supporting people for a long time. What are some common things that people struggle with that you can kind of speak to? What are some things that happen over and over again that you and I can talk about for a minute?
I think one of the big things, a lot of people who want to sell product. I think we all, you, me, Will, me, so we all want to support people in learning how to sell product because that's what a lot of people are trying to do.
Right.
And a lot of people struggle with that. So a lot of times I'll say, well, show me what you're doing. Because I do come from a marketing background, I have a corporate background. Yep. And I think the number one issue, I know the number one issue, photography. People are not placing enough value on how important good photography is. That's why one of the first videos I released the whole That Laser Dude thing is basically my new YouTube channel, That Laser Dude. It's designed, I'm going to be doing a bunch of stuff to help people with their businesses. But photography is literally so important. So I actually did a whole video on helping people with some tips on making nice photos just using your simple phone. But you can make something beautiful. It's finished beautifully. Maybe your colors are great. And you take a photo of it. And if it's not straight or it's just has a bad background, no one's going to buy it. Think about it from this way. You're scrolling past on Marketplace or on Etsy or whatever. There's lots of other competition. Ask yourself before you post something, would you buy it?
Yeah. If
you have a picture of your monogram or some design sitting on some countertop or just sitting on a piece of blanket, I don't even know, would you buy it? Look at my photos or look at some of the other competition's photos and say, which one would you buy?
Right.
Photography. And it's really easy. This isn't a hard concept to make passable photography. I am by no means a photographer. Those guys are a completely different breed. They're pros, pro photographers.
Yes.
I'm nowhere near as good as them. That's art in itself. But what I have done is learn just enough to make my photos good enough so that we can sell product. So by far, that is the number one issue that I see with people. Number two, the finishing isn't good enough. I mean, I'll just be blunt. And when people ask me my opinion, I will be blunt with them because how can I help somebody? I'm not the person that's going to say, oh, looks great, looks great, looks great. I can't do that. Yeah. If it doesn't look good, I have to, and you're asking for my help, I'm going to tell you, it's not up to par. Your colors are off. You don't have enough contrast between that layer to this layer. Like just picking the right colors and good finishing, picking the right materials, it plays a role in how the finished product looks. So those are some of the big ones. I forget what the question was. I tend to ramble.
Okay. That's perfect. No, that's perfect answer. It makes me think of something that a topic I've kind of avoided, but I think you and I can touch on it together. I think it'll be all right. Is the idea of marketing photos. Is you provide great photos. That's fantastic. That's not an issue at all. I'm always challenged by because you just said it. If somebody's finishing isn't good, but they're using your photo, my photo, that's not representing the product they're actually selling.
Yes.
And so that's the concern. And so let me finish this thought and I'll let you respond to it. Is I don't have any problem with them using a photo that you made or that I made, as long as that represents the product they're actually selling. Right. And that's not up to Darryl. That's not up to Mark. That's not we can't control that. We just give you a photo. You guys need to make sure that when you're using somebody else's photo, that the product that you're selling comes out that good or better. And that's where I'm a little challenged by marketing photos. But I know that's not technically our burden to bear, right? I mean, but what thoughts do you have on that?
I do allow people to use my photos when they buy my files.
Yes.
I have told people, I said, like, print one or cut one and make sure that you can reproduce it.
Yeah.
At a high enough quality. And you're free to use my photos. I think it is better for people to create their own photos. And I'm seeing a lot more of that, Mark, especially as people like you and me are helping people in the community. We may not have justifiable results that we can see, but I'm telling you right now, we're making a difference.
Yes.
I am seeing so many people elevate their game. I'm seeing people that a year ago were creating photos or even products that were not up to par.
Yeah.
And now they're literally posting in my groups and stuff. And I'm like, that's better than me. Like, that's finished better than what I can do. Like, wow. Like, and you like, absolutely. And these are just people that have taken the time to really invest in their business, invest in the time to learn different techniques and understand coloring and just, I'm super impressed with a lot of the things. People are really elevating their game for sure.
I agree.
So with that said, I want people to cut it themselves, finish it themselves, photograph it themselves, because that's when you're going to separate yourself from the pack in terms of business and selling. Your product's going to be different.
Yep. You
can even get to the point of creating something unique. So if you buy a Big Blue Laser design file or a Spin Customs file, you don't have to just cut it exactly as it is. I have seen so many people have amazing success taking something I've made, taking 2 or 3 of my files and making it into one thing. Or even even if you're not good at with the design software, they'll cut one of my files, but then they add maybe ribbons or the way they finish it. And it's just, you're like, wow, I didn't even think of that. Like,
I love it.
Christina, she's known as Krista Creative. She's awesome. She took all my sun catchers. I designed them with sun catchers. She goes and prints a bunch of earrings and they're selling like crazy, like with my sun catcher files. And I'm like, smart.
I love that. That's so great. Yeah, like, I love it. Hey, we only got a couple minutes. I'm going to just grab a bunch of these questions, just fire them at you. Just see how they go.
Okay.
I'm all good questions. This will be fun. Where do you get all your crazy costumes?
Amazon.
Yeah. That's great. We have a lot of fun with you. For sure. So that's really great. Victor asked, we love Victor here, man. We're big fans of Victor Havens for sure.
Victor's awesome.
Yeah. You are an inspiration to many. Who are some of your inspirations? We may not know who they are, but you may have some people we don't know, but is there anybody that inspires you in the art department, in the art area or wherever?
You might not know him, but there's a gentleman that is from the area that was one of my first employers, Bill Simoni. I really love the way he thought and just, he was a big inspiration for me in terms of business and in terms of everything like that. But other than that, you and Victor and Will and Misa.
Wow. Well, it's definitely mutual for sure. And now here's one that I know there's not going to be a direct answer, so we're just going to have to kind of kick it around, but I think it's worth talking about anyway. Kimber says she's scared of, I've talked to Kimber quite a few times. scared of getting started, where to start. I'm going to let Darryl kind of reflect on this a little bit. Kimber, obviously we can't tell you specifically where you need to be because it's going to be unique from person to person. But Darryl, if you were talking to somebody who just was kind of paralyzed in the beginning, didn't know where to start, what are some kind of general ideas you would share with them to help them get the ball rolling for them?
Are we talking that she already owns a laser and she's okay,
yeah,
and she doesn't know where to start at all?
Kimber, would you go ahead and tell us I think what she's saying is she doesn't know what niche to go with or what's going to be her specialty. I think that's what she's talking about.
I think a lot of people have this same problem where to start. And my advice to them is pick a few products that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Pick a few products that you like, whether they're files or you can create a custom thing in it. Try to find that little niche. So the way you start is pick 3 things that you like to create. If you don't like reproducing the items, you're gonna freaking hate reproducing it 100 times. Make sure you like it. Make sure that you like finishing it. Post them online on Facebook Marketplace. Post it online in the local buy and sell groups. Even start with one product.
Yeah.
Just start with one thing that you like. Post it on Marketplace. Post it in the buy and sell groups. See if you get a couple sales out of it. Grow from there. Ask people to share. Ask people to share that product and your friends of friends. Everyone's afraid to ask for help. Like I was just talking with somebody about this the other day too. I think I'm the same as well. We're all afraid to ask. Like I want to ask my community, hey, go out there and spread the word of Spin Customs, but we don't ask because we're humble. But you need to, especially when you're selling product, when you're starting out. After that, don't be afraid you have to live outside of your comfort zone if you want to be an entrepreneur. Yeah. Being an entrepreneur, 100% is outside of your comfort zone. It's outside of my comfort zone. We wear every hat.
Yep.
So if you want sales, then you need to hustle and do the work required no matter what that means. And if that means that I'm sitting there and I'm anxious for an hour before I walk into that little shop in downtown Port Perry and go in and ask him if he'll take on some of my products as consignment, because I'm nervous, but I do it. Or I call up corporations and I say, hey, I've got this great sell stand. We can put your logo on it and send it to all customize it for every one of your customers for Christmas gifts. That's how I sold 900 of them for the Christmas promo. By just calling people or creating samples and emailing people. You have to live outside your comfort zone. But sorry, I'm going off track.
No, it's great.
Original question, start with 1 or 2 products that you are easily reproducible. Post it in Facebook Marketplace. Post it in the local buy and sell groups. There are buy and sell groups everywhere.
Yep.
Start your Facebook page. Get your social media going immediately. Get your branding going immediately. A logo, a name, your Facebook page, website if you want to get there. These are crucial points of your branding.
Yeah.
When you are in contact with people, make sure your personality shines. The number one thing in selling craft or laser items, and in fact selling everything, even at a corporate level, is personality. You need to tell a story. We're not Hobby Lobby here. We're not a big box store that people can go and buy anything they want from. What sells? It's not just the product, guys. It's your story. And whether that you sell, you are the. I can't put this. You sell. It's you guys. Yes. They are buying your stuff. As a crafter, as someone working with the laser, because we're crafters. That's what we're in that market. Our customers are looking for the local artisan because it's got a story. It's something unique that they got from the local artisan. So they want to tell that story to the person that comes to their house and they say, oh, where'd you get that from? Oh, it's this lovely lady from Facebook. I met her. She's got this. Her kids help her, and it's a family-run business. And it's just local. And she creates all these really cool laser stuff and does all the finishing by herself. It's a story. Yeah, that is what you're selling. It's not just the product.
In fact, I'm going to respond to this. Let you respond to it too. Is Elizabeth says, if personality is key, then I'm screwed. Okay, I'll say it, and then I'll let you respond. I think I disagree entirely because the goal here, let me tell a little story about myself, and then I'm sure Darryl will have one too, is, I grew up working as a young adult, as an adult in a church, and I had a lot of public speakers who I admired very much. And I wanted to be like them. We all have people we want to be like, right? And I realized that I can't communicate the way that these guys, these girls communicate. It's just not in me. It's not my personality. And when I tried, it was very plastic feeling. It didn't feel right at all. And the best thing I ever did was find out who Mark is and just lean into who I am and my personality. And as I got comfortable with me, then the people who were my audience, my people, my tribe slowly started following me, right? But as I was playing somebody else, I always felt fake. And, here's what let me speak for Darryl, and then he can correct me if I'm wrong. So Elizabeth, Darryl is successful because he's being Darryl, like he's being himself. He's not telling you to be him. He's telling you to be the best Elizabeth that you can be, right? And so if you're, and I'm forgive me, Elizabeth, we have talked. I don't know a lot about you, so I'll just tell a little story. Like, let's say you're a mom who has some little kids at home and is making stuff out of her house. That's part of your story, and that can be endearing and magnetic to people, right? And so let who you are just shine through, and people who like that will be drawn to you. What do you think about that, Darryl?
Absolutely. I don't want Elizabeth to think that because I have a big personality, because I come off as an extrovert, because I'm fun and engaging and energetic. That's just my personality. That's Darryl. I'm the same way in my family life as I am on screen. That's my personality. So I'm assuming Elizabeth isn't saying that she's a nasty human. She's shy. Maybe she's just reserved. That's still a story. You still have a story that people connect with. There are so many successful people that they're not extroverts and I'm just over the top. And you know what? There's people that don't like it. I've had nasty comments from people that are like, you're an idiot jumping around on screen. Well, that's who I am. And I'm not going to change that. Yeah. I'm not doing it to make sales. I'm not doing it. Why did I dress up in all those stupid costumes? Because it was fun. Because but that's me. So maybe Elizabeth you just have to find your story and just connect with people on a personal level. Yeah. Let them know who you are. And if you're shy, then that story is, I bought this thing from this wonderful lady. She's shy, but she's got these kids and stuff. You've got a story. I don't know what the story is, but it's unique to you. It's not Darryl Aspin's story. It's not Mark Collier's story. It's your story. Yes. So you're not screwed no matter what your personality type is, because people will relate. You'll find your people. Believe me.
Yep. In fact, man, you said that so well. I don't even want to mess with it. It was so well said. I'll just emphasize one part you did say is we are not everybody's cup of tea, but somebody is, right? Like somebody may not care for Mark, but they really like Darryl, or somebody may not care for either one of us, but they like Elizabeth. Yes. And I fully 100% believe that there is room in the world for every single creative person. I don't think, I 100%. Don't buy it when people say market is saturated. I go, nope, because creative people are always going to find a space for themselves. Always. Yeah. Always, always, always. And, I admire Darryl so much, and when I look at his work, I go, oh my goodness. And then I think, you know what? That's okay. I'm going to go over here and do Mark because, and I try, I do fail a lot, but I try not to fall into the comparison trap of comparing myself to anyone else. And Elizabeth, I'm talking to you. Darryl and I are talking to you. Don't fall into the comparison trap. Be the best that Elizabeth can be. And that's going to be more than enough. I promise you, if we can help you, we will. Man, dang, this has been going good. Let me grab a couple more, just random ones. Lots of questions. We're not going to get to them all.
I'm just tearing up here. And I'll be vulnerable for a second. It really affects me when people don't believe in themselves. Yeah. And I know Elizabeth said she's just being a smartass, but sorry. I need people to believe in themselves because we're all vulnerable. We're all just humans. And I'm a creative person. I feel things very deeply. So you need to know that you guys can do this, no matter what it is. And the idea when Marx was saying that there's a space for every creative person, I want you to know that creative people aren't people just like Mark and I. You're all creative. Everybody has creativity in them.
Yes.
And if you don't think you found it yet, you will. Because it's there and it shines through every single day. But you haven't recognized it yet. You haven't said, that's right, I am creative. I guarantee you take a look at yourself.
Yeah. And
you will see something.
Yeah.
That sets you apart.
Yeah.
Oh.
Preach,
Sure.
man. Pass the offering plate right now. This is the good time. That is so good. I completely agree. I'm just going to throw another question at you, totally off the topic, but what spray paint do you use?
I was using Rust-Oleum just because I didn't know any better. For a long time. I was doing all these cool gradient effects and all that. And so I use 2 different brands now. I use the same brand as you when I'm in the US because I own a house in the US. I use Mountain 24, MTN 24. I call it Mountain 20. Or, sorry, Mountain 94.
Yeah, right.
MTN 94 in the US. When I'm back home in Canada, I order from Bombing Science, which you can also get in the US. They have the Flame series of paints. So what separates these paints from the Rust-Oleum they dry in like minutes.
Yeah.
Minutes. You have a variety of so many bright colors. So I've literally got spray paints coming out the yin yang. And I don't know about they're half the price of Rust-Oleum.
Yeah.
It's like $6-7 a can here in Canada, as opposed I'm paying $12 a can for Rust-Oleum. I don't know how much the Rust-Oleum is in the US, but
it's so much better.
Way better. The only issue I've run into is, and maybe you can help me with it, because the spray is too wide. Now I use the white caps, but I want a more narrow spray because I can create more detail with my gradients and stuff. I find the spray too wide. So I'm actually going to be contacting Bombing Science and asking them, like, do you have because they do have a bunch of different caps.
Yeah.
Which cap's the best with the most narrow?
I can't speak for Bombing Science, but for Montana or MTN, they've got probably 15 different caps. And I use one called the pocket cap, which I think is kind of a nice medium between crazy wide but I bought their sample pack of caps. I think it was, I don't know, maybe $10. I don't recall. And it had 15 different caps. So we tested them all. So you might check that out. I think you'd like it. So Laser of Love Creations, same thing. Check out Bombing Science, high quality, Mountain or MTN or Montana 94. We love those too. Oh man, a couple more. And I got like 2 minutes to stick with our time.
I'll stick here for another half hour, Mark. I don't care.
This is a good question. I know that neither Darryl nor I are like crazy. We're not finishers that we love the finishing. We talked about that earlier. But what do you typically do? Do you sand things much? I have found that with the Montana 94, if we will do a filler primer and then a really light sand, like a 400 grit, 320 grit, just real quick, and then spray paint it, it's nice and smooth.
Yeah. Well, it depends what wood you use. If you pick a good wood, I use the Columbia Forest Pure Bond, and it's got a absolutely slick, smooth surface already. No sanding, no nothing. I cut, I paint. And I don't have a lot of samples around here, but I mean, that's the Columbia Forest. You can probably see it. Look how people think it's acrylic because it's just spray painted.
Yep.
And it's finished perfect. I don't have all the divots. You know, like a lot of people like the wood grain, but I love the Columbia Forest Pure Bond just because it finishes like mint. So no, I don't do sanding, nothing. I just buy the best material that I can.
Do you are you able to walk into the store and walk out with that Columbia Forest, or do you order online?
If you have a Glowforge and you want the 10 packs of that fit the Glowforge, you can only order it online.
Okay.
They're sized for Glowforge, but I have bigger lasers here now. So I go into the store and I buy the 4x8 sheets, and they cut them right there at Home Depot for me. And I walk in with them. They'll even cut them down to size for Glowforge if you want. So it's the Columbia Forest Pure Bond. I buy the maple. It's got a super smooth surface on it. So that's why my finishing always looks great.
Guys, let me just emphasize what he's saying. Even if you think that's a little bit too expensive for you, consider that you're cutting out parts of the process because it's better, right? If you're not going to have to sand as much or at all. So consider that as part of the quality of your product too. Spray paint. I was going to answer this question. Sprayplanet.com is where I get the Montana stuff. Bombing Science, I think, has their own website too, I believe.
Yeah, bombingscience.com. I see Laura Evans. She's on the website right now. It's the flame paint you're looking for, Laura.
Okay.
Flame. They're the best ones. And they have like so many different colors. It's awesome.
Love it. This is great. Let's see if I can grab a couple more before we get out of here. Lots of people saying thank you. So Darryl, we're going to say it several times. What a great time this has been. So thank you very much. Some people said they need that hoodie.
This
I'm
one?
sure we can make it happen.
You don't want this one. This is just my logo. I can make it available. My shop's got all kinds of other hoodies.
I went to go buy a Will tube top, and I don't see it for guys.
They're unisex. The hoodies are unisex. Maybe she wants a T-shirt.
No, I want a T-shirt.
Oh, you want a T-shirt?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't done the men's section yet. I've done the women's T-shirts and unisex hoodies. I've got to do the unisex T-shirts, which are men's and women's. I'm still working on that. It'll be all the same logos.
Well, here's the problem for me. I'm really tall and hoodies are hard, man. Hoodies are hard. I'm Sasquatch over here.
I'll let you know when I get that T-shirt up, Mark.
I will totally buy it, man.
Okay.
But you guys go and buy some stuff from Darryl and buy some fun shirts. Those are cool too.
And go follow me on that Laser Dude on YouTube, because I'm going to be creating all kinds of cool content, and it takes a lot of work. And all I'm asking for is just subscribe.
Yep.
Like, it's so much.
That Laser Dude on YouTube. Go subscribe and like. Leave some comments. Get him some traffic going, because that helps a lot. And I will tell you. I guess we'll end with this and one more thing. But guys, the amount of work that all of us put in, but I'm talking about Darryl today where are you? Over there. Right. The amount of work's a lot, and we do it because we love it. But it's not a small amount of work. So if you can share stuff in some groups, if you can like and comment, if you can subscribe, we'd really be thankful. That would really help a lot for us to just be able to reach more people, have a wider audience. That would be great. So please do that. Yeah. So anything as we get out of here? I'm sorry. There is one other thing I want to tell people. You have a subscription group I forgot to mention.
Yes.
Tell everybody about that real quick, and we'll kind of go out with that today.
Will, who everybody knows and loves, and Misa, who everybody knows and loves, and I teamed up to create Forge World Plus, where we give exclusive files monthly, as well as discounts on wood, discounts on Will's laser blanks, discounts on acrylic. We do lives in the group and stuff, and it's an exclusive group. So you can check out all the details at forgeworldplus.com.
Let me, I'll type that real quick. Just keep talking for a second while I type. forgeworldplus.com.
I don't know what to talk about.
I don't know.
Oh my God, I'm back again. Sisters, everybody sing.
Dude, man, that's the way to go out with Darryl singing a little bit. So guys, check out Forge World Plus. Check out that Laser Dude. Check out Etsy.
Come join my Laser Designs group. Do all the things. All the things. Come follow me everywhere. I'm everywhere. I know it's a lot, but come do all the things.
That's great. You got a lot of fans here, and hopefully you picked up a few more. So, man, Darryl, hang out with me. Don't go anywhere. We'll talk when we get offline here. But everybody else, thanks for hanging out with us. I appreciate you. Whatever time it is, wherever you are, we appreciate you. Go say hi to Darryl throughout the entire internet and buy some stuff. And we'll see you guys again online. Have a great day. We'll see you around. Thanks, Darryl. I'll see you here in just a second.